All Parts AITA for telling my mom if her 3-month BF move and we move out. Hi everyone. I just feel torn and I hope this could help me on how to handle this going forward so I do not lose my mom. So my mom and dad had me at a very young age, my mom 17 and my dad 19. It was pretty tough especially back in the day but we all made it work somehow. But when I was 12 my dad got a heart attack and died and it just left me and my mom. Ever since my dad she has had 2 serious guys but it never worked out because she always said, no one can compare to your dad. Until now. I am married and my mom lives up at the coast in a very small town, the kind where the only shop for groceries is a small convenience store. My husband and I got into some financial issues and my mom said we should move in with her so we can get back on our feet. I was skeptical at first because it is obviously not ideal but my mom with her kind heart said I can see you feel bad about it. Don't life is hard enough and parents are there to lift their children up and catch them when they fall. You need to come back home and regroup and gather back strength so life is not that hard on you. Now my mom lives in a small coast property that she rents. The type of place that looks like a 1-bedroom cabin from the outside. Well it's a 3-bedroom and 1 bathroom and walls are thin, the Wi-Fi is rocky because of the coast and all the wind and my husband works remotely in IT. So it's definitely not ideal but we are making it work. Well we have been here 20 days now and it was going so good it felt like a dream. But yesterday my mom calls me. A guy she dated last year proposed to her and she hasn't given an answer yet but she told him and his 16-year-old they are welcome to move in. A couple of hours after, she came back home all excited but the smile quickly faded when I started asking questions. Nothing unreasonable, just the logical ones that got our heads spinning like, how could you ask him to move in after 1 phone call of catching up after 3 months of dating a year before? How are we all going to live here? She got defensive and I tried explaining that I'm just worried about her and that it all feels a bit impulsive. A few hours of everyone just keeping out of each other's faces, my mom came to me asking if I would take a ride with her to the convenience store. On the road she asked if I really am just worried about her. Of course. You are my mom and it would have been the same if the roles were reversed. Then she asked me well what do you want me to say? I responded saying I want you to say you didn't just do something that impulsive without giving it some thought. Then she said, it's my house. You're not going to be dictating what is allowed and who is allowed in my house. I agree but you invited your daughter and son-in-law to come and live with you in already cramped space to help us and not even 20 days later you want to move a man in with his 16-year-old son and after only 3 months of dating the previous year? And then you come to us informing us about it. I'm not saying you should have asked permission but a discussion would have been kind. It was total silence from there on to the convenience store and back home. When I got home I told my husband what happened and he said I better go ask forgiveness for speaking so out of line. You can't tell a grown woman what to do. She raised you by herself and we can't expect her to put her life on hold for us even if a discussion would have been the right thing to do. I thought about it a while and decided he is right. It was out of line of me and so I apologized but it did not go as I thought it would. It's kind of you to apologize but it wasn't necessary. You just expressed your worry and I have to respect that because you are my daughter. But he is special and I am not going to rescind my offer and I will not ask permission. If he wants to come he is coming and that's that. I just stood there dumbfounded. How could she be so obtuse about it not even understanding that she is putting us in an uncomfortable situation as well? I just said that's fine you can make your own decisions in life but we all cannot live here and so if they move in we will move out. It would be the best thing for all. Oh come on honey you are being a bit rash now. You don't need to move out we will make it work. You need to sort out your things. No mom it's not rash. We can't all live here. If the house was bigger it would have been different but 5 people in a 3-bedroom 1-bathroom cabin is a bit much and unrealistic if you think it'll work. My husband also needs to work and where will he work then? Maybe you both need to just think about this some more and get back to me. And that was that. Ever since my mom is acting like nothing happened, going on as usual. Am I just being an ungrateful child or a jerk of a daughter? I just feel like this is all too strange and I worry about her and this whole plan is just crazy. Am I a jerk? Edit. I have never met this man or his child. I never even knew his name until this all came up. When she called me all excited she said Mike proposed which left me stating the obvious who is Mike. First I would like to add some information based on the comments I read. We had financial issues because we were still paying off my husband's outstanding university accounts. And then my mother-in-law got breast cancer so we got into credit card debt to help her out with some things like her car needed to be fixed so she can drive to her chemo sessions which was in the neighboring city and some other bills as well. We tried catching up but struggled which is why we were very grateful for my mom's offer. We agreed to live here for 6 months because we worked out according to how much we can save, when we could move out. Update. So my husband and I decided to talk to her again and ask more questions based on all your questions in the comments from my previous post. But the answers only made me worry more. This guy is looking for work. He works as an engineer on cell towers. He has 2 kids. One is 25M and the other 16M. His wife apparently abandoned them when the youngest was 2. And he is a biker. My husband and I decided if and when he moves in we could look for a place close enough so we could pop in and visit anytime she needs us. The crazy thing is we asked her what he thinks about us already being here and the conversation just made me feel angry and sad. I don't know. We haven't spoken since the call. Mom, this is crazy. Why would you move in so quickly? You barely dated. I'm not getting any younger and I am sick of being alone. You're not alone, Mom. We are here. Yes, sweetie, but I need someone to talk to hold, to help me, to defend me, to love me. Life is not just about my career anymore. It cannot end there. I want more, I understand, Mom, but this might not be the way to find it. Can't you go get hobbies and date a while? Maybe pottery or something? And then she just stayed quiet. My husband gestured maybe we should go for a walk, which is what we always do when we need some time to think and talk alone. And that was that. This is all just so crazy. I can't understand why she is being so desperate all of a sudden. I mean, my mom has always been such a strong person. She started her own business at the age of 20, she raised me on her own. I went to university and after my studies she said she is thinking of studying as well since she never got the chance. Now she is in her final year in law getting all distinctions. I can't stand seeing my mom sink like this. We will see if this guy moves in or not. But for the time being we are just keeping our heads down and hoping this guy is sensible enough to not move in, which I know sounds delulu. Anyway. Thank you all so much for the comments. It really helped me get my thoughts in order and look at things in from another perspective too. It's amazing how much clarity you get from strangers just hearing you out. I just want to thank everyone for commenting. I couldn't believe how many people were so supportive and so eye-opening. Due to so many people commenting, I thought I would give my last update. By some miracle this guy decided not to move in. He gave my mom numerous reasons, all reasonable, at least in my opinion. One of the reasons is that his son is settled already where they are living now and it doesn't make sense to disrupt his son's life when he is comfortable in his school at his age and he has all his friends already and apparently he does Krav Maga classes as well. Another reason was that because we live so far and they live in the city it would be expensive to move which he cannot afford. Apparently he does have a job but it's not in his line of work so he is looking but the job market is bad according to him. The sad part is apart from his crazy spontaneous proposal, he seems logical when it counts. Also many people asked in my previous post why he and my mom stopped dating in the first place. Apparently my mom chose another guy over him but turns out the guy she chose is married so she booted him fast. Honestly, I am so glad my mom will be safe because this whole thing started getting crazy fast. I hope my mom finds a good man and she so deserves it but until then there are a few froggies I need to keep an eye on. Hi. So I really did think the last post would have been my last update but wow, looks like it is not that simple. This got crazier. So last time I said that my mom's BF did not want to move in because his kid is already comfortable and settled where they are now and it would cost a lot since it is a few cities away. Well, not even a week later my mom came to us, she had a date with a new guy. And it's the same story, she is smitten and this could be it the one. By 8 that night I started searching online how long you need to wait for reporting someone missing because she turned her damn phone off. At 9 she finally called just to say she won't be coming home. They booked a hotel. The next day she came back home all loved up saying he is perfect and this guy is already talking about marrying. I, of course, tried talking sense into her saying you guys started on a dating app and you know him barely for 3 days. She did not want to listen so at some point I saw I am just annoying her so I backed off a bit. Not even 2 days later she came home with this man with suitcases and all. He apparently is going to stay with us before he goes to work again. He works security on boats for anti-drugs and anti-poaching. No discussion with us or anything but he will be staying here now. At first it was awkward, but when I saw how happy my mom was I couldn't help but be happy for her as well. After everything in her life she deserves happiness, she is just not always smart about it. Well that didn't last long of course. Yesterday lady calls my mom saying please don't break up our marriage. Yep. Turns out he is married. He and his wife are separated and then he met my mom and told the wife about my mom and he wants a divorce. But thing is my mom didn't know he was married. He said to my mom he is divorced. A whole fight broke out and this guy starts crying saying he shouldn't have lied, but he lied because his wife is crazy and they are already signing papers. He thought it was easier to handle it silently. Well, last night we looked at a place thanks to friends pulling contacts and we move tomorrow. It's her house and she has a right to have whoever in her house, but we can't take the drama anymore. This is her third BF in 2 weeks. It's crazy. She decided to give him a chance, but she is broken about being lied to. Thing is, my husband got worried yesterday because while this whole fight was going on, my husband was still working and he was on a call with his boss. This is just too much and we cannot lose my husband's job over all this. Both my husband and I are just exhausted and we barely sleep anymore between all the drama. My husband works overtime to get his work done and I am doing my second degree, so I am forced to study at night as well when the house is calm. We haven't told her yet we are moving, which is our goal today, so here's to hoping things go well.